Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the eve of a big night in this country, Election Day. Tonight, it's the final chance for Democrats and Republicans to deliver their closing arguments. Hundreds of candidates are making one last push to get out the vote ahead of Election Day. With control of the Senate and the House on the ballot, both parties are pulling out all the stops, with President Joe Biden, former Presidents Barack Obama and Donald Trump all hitting the campaign trail. In Georgia, a record 2.5 million voters have already cast their ballots in early voting, where Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock is in a dead heat with Republican Herschel Walker. We have our team of correspondents in battleground states across the country to cover the key races in this historic election. And CBS's Nikole Killion will start us off tonight from Kennesaw, Georgia. Good evening, Nikole.
Hey, good evening to you, Nora. More than 40 million people have already cast their ballots nationwide. And here in Georgia, the state hit an all-time record in the midterms for early voting. But today was really about trying to get the message out to those remaining voters who will cast their ballots Election Day.
Are you ready to win this election?
On the last full day of campaigning, a final plea to get out the vote.
I'll show up for you for 6 more years.
Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock is fighting to keep his job over Republican challenger Herschel Walker.
You got to vote for something new, and it starts in November.
The race is locked in a virtual tie, and if no candidate gets over 50%, it could head to a runoff in December.
You look down here, Herschel, our polling shows Herschel's not going to have a runoff.
Florida Senator Rick Scott oversees campaign strategy for Senate Republicans.
You don't think there's going to be a runoff?
I don't think there's going to be a runoff.
Do you think this race will go to a runoff?
I have every faith in the people of Georgia that I'm going to win. I'm leaving it all on the field.
Georgia is one of 6 toss-up races that could decide control of the U.S. Senate, along with Pennsylvania, where the razor-thin contest between Democrat John Fetterman and Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz drew 3 U.S. presidents to the trail.
It's a choice between 2 vastly different visions of America.
Democracy itself is on the ballot.
You must vote Republican in a giant red wave.
The Senate race in Nevada between incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto and Republican Adam Laxalt, also a dead heat, brought out another former president.
Everything I worked for all my life is on the line now.
Voters, they're concerned about the top issues dominating this midterm season.
Inflation, immigration, crime. It's just those 3 things are just off the rails.
While in the Midwest, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes is trying to squeeze out a victory over 2-term Republican Senator Ron Johnson. CBS's Adriana Diaz spoke with the Democratic candidate today.
There's been some concern that there's been too much focus on abortion at the expense of inflation and the economy. Do you feel you've been pushing both messages equally?
Well, we started out this campaign talking about rebuilding the middle class, and this is tomorrow's the last day of the campaign. We'll still be talking about rebuilding the middle class, the same middle class that gave my family a fair shot at the American dream. Those tickets to the middle class are in short supply these days.
Republicans continue to hammer the economy as part of their closing message to voters, while Democrats argue democracy is at stake, a critical choice for voters, with just hours to go before polls open across the country. Nora?
Nikole Killion at a busy campaign rally. Thank you.